Okay, this is just going to be a quick update. So they got me shouting again today. Earlier earlier this morning, my mom said she heard some pounding, and it was so disruptive. She went into the bathroom, and I didn't hear it. The problem is continuing. When we report, they want me to report. Okay, they want me to report so that when I do, I can get the reputation as a Ken or a Karen or as a just I can be the bad guy. I can be the one who's always reporting someone. So in this case, I'm going to be damned either way. If I report it, there I go again reporting something, right? And but if I don't report it, then they're going to say, well, why didn't you say something? Anyway, my mom said that there was pounding earlier, and I didn't hear it because I had my headphones on. And usually, it's when it's something like what she described, it's a thumping. It's a light thumping, kind of like this, right? Where you can almost feel it in your bones. Well, I didn't feel that earlier, and I didn't hear it. I had my headphones on. I was on the computer. So she went into the bathroom, and I let it go. I took my headphones off for a little while to see if I could hear anything, and I didn't. Okay, fast forward. Maybe a half hour ago, I heard it all right. And even before that, I heard a light thumping, and it was very light. And I'm thinking, okay, that's what my mother heard. But then it was wham. It was a massive thump that it vibrated through my bones. And this happens at night too. I got so angry I started shouting, and that's exactly what they want. That's exactly what they want, because after I started shouting, I heard a door close outside, and they're probably going to report me now. That's what they do. They provoke and they report. Well, I guess they got their way today, huh? So anyway, then I called downstairs to report the pounding, right? But again, I have to be careful with reporting things. You can't just keep reporting things, especially when you have no proof. And so anyway, now the building came out with some new rules, and it's guidelines for caregivers, and that includes live-in caregivers. A lot of these rules might seem beneficial to someone in my position, a target of organized stalking, because they really they shorten the leash, so to speak. But this is not going to help me. It seems like it might at first. No, all this is going to do is hinder my ability to get the proof I need, because in the end, the perpetrators are going to get in here, and they're going to keep doing what they've been doing. All this is going to do is limit my freedom, right? And they showed me that. And I had been talking with my mom as soon as the memo came in. It's like a little pamphlet, really. And I've been I told her, this is not going to help us. It might seem like it is because, there are more rules people have to follow. They have to be more careful. They can't just do what they want. It's not going to help us. Because, and I told her point blank, they're going to keep doing what they're doing. I'm the only one who's going to be limited in this case, and it's going to be harder for me to get the proof, right? Okay, what happened? The very next day, when I went out, well, let me back forward. Let me back up for a bit. One of the rules was that the caregivers have to dress appropriately. They can't dress inappropriately. They can't wear anything too revealing or offensive or anything inappropriate. And well, what is the definition of inappropriate, right? They can't have, offensive slurs on it. Well, that makes sense. But they can say that, my shirt that, says, stands against organized stalking is inappropriate. Anyway, so I won't be able to wear that shirt anymore, maybe. I don't know. They're going to report me for everything. Every little misstep they're going to report me for. So, but they can still dress inappropriately. And normally I don't care what people wear. I don't care how they dress. But this time it pissed me off, because what happened was a day after I was telling my mother about how this is not going to work well for us, they had one of the employees who works here. She works in the building, and she's on our floor usually on Wednesdays or Thursdays, and it's on Wednesdays because this happened Thursday. She was here a day after, and she wasn't in uniform, and she was wearing something that she's never worn before. A very, I won't say revealing, but it was a very tight outfit with a very low-cut shirt with some cleavage showing, a lot of makeup. This is, I think part of the guidelines where you can't dress too revealing. Well, she was dressed quite revealing in, tighter clothes and cleavage and whatnot. And, normally I don't care. Normally I don't care. But they did it on purpose just to show me that they can do what they want. I'm the only one who's going to be called out on every move I make, right? They're still going to do what they want. They can break the rules. That's what pissed me off. That's what they were showing me. That's why they had her do that. And she was wearing makeup, a lot of makeup that she normally doesn't wear, and fake eyelashes, right? She looked like a total hooker at that point. And I mean, not by her pants. She was wearing normal pants. They were just really tight, but from the face up. And also, one of the rules is that residents have to wear a face mask when in the building. She was not wearing the mask. Okay. And so she was waiting for me as I went out of the apartment because I had to go downstairs for something. And I did my best to ignore her, and she was trying to get my attention, and I ignored her, and she just kept trying to get my attention, and I just kept ignoring her. They were trying to provoke me to get me to report her, because if I report her, that's just me reporting again, and guess what I get to be called? Another Karen, another Ken, another whatever, what are they called? Kens or Darrens or whatever they are, right? It pisses people off against me. It turns people against me. But again, I'm in a bad situation because she wasn't wearing a face mask, which, which endangers the people in this building. There are so many, there are seniors in this building, a lot of them, and they're at very high risk for catching COVID. So, and I've reported someone in the past for not wearing a face mask, but hang on, I'll be back. That's us. Okay, I'm back. Sorry. Yeah, I had reported someone in the past for not wearing a face mask because and he was doing it on purpose. He was one of the perpetrators. I know that for a fact. And but the problem is they're risking people's lives in order to provoke me. That's what it is, because they want me to report. And the more I report, the more people hate me, right? So, which at that point it's easier to get them to go along with the campaign against me. So I didn't report her, but then they can say, well, why didn't you say something if you thought it was so dangerous, right? Because in the end it is. When they don't wear the mask, they're risking people's lives in the building. So it's a damned either way situation that I'm in. Anyway, so part of moving on to other rules, another thing was they don't want people to engage in gossip and things like that, and make defamatory statements, and which, okay, if you're a targeted individual, that sounds great. The problem is that's not going to apply to these people because they don't think they're engaging in gossip, and they don't think that their statements are defamatory, right? They think that what they're doing is perfectly fine, so they can continue lying and making false accusations against the target, right? But I'm the one who might not be able to report. It's going to get harder and harder to report them because it seems like I'm just going to report something for anybody. Well, what happens then? So, it's kind of, I'm not quite sure what to do because I'm being hindered as to what I can do. If I don't have absolute proof, I can't report. On the other hand, if I don't report something like not wearing a face mask, that can be serious too. Then they can say, well, why didn't you say something if you saw that? This is dangerous. So I don't know. Two, they're saying that they don't want cell phones out, which, other perpetrators, they've had their cell phones out and they kind of flip them up at me. So they're still recording me, but I'm going to have to put mine away. As soon as I have mine out, they're going to report me for that. So what's going to happen is they can still record me, but I can't record them. And that's going to make it even harder to get proof. Now, I did get a picture of the woman sitting in the hallway with her mask off. I don't know. I haven't decided yet if I'm going to add that picture to this video. Her face is blurred out, so it's not like she can be identified. But she can't be identified, so it's perfectly legal. But at the same time, should I add that? I don't know. We'll see. The problem is now it's going to be harder for me to get proof. If I can't have my phone out, how do I get proof? Right? If I can't make an accusation, how do I report these things? But if I don't report them, then they're going to say, why didn't you say something? Especially when it's as serious as not wearing a face mask. Someone not wearing a mask, right? And too, the woman who did that a few days ago, who was not wearing the mask, who was in the hallway, she's also the same person who lied a while back when there was a lot of pounding. And, even my next door neighbor came out and we were talking because she heard it too. And we were wondering where it was coming from. I had gone and asked this other woman, she was there sitting in the hallway again. I said, do you hear that? And it was clear that it was going on. You could hear it. And in a very cool tone, she said, no. Liar. And that's, after she looked at her phone to find out how she should respond. What a lapdog. I'm getting so angry because how are they getting these people to go along with it? What are they paying them? What are they... She doesn't look like she's in distress. She doesn't look like she's unhappy about this, right? I've seen some perpetrators, some of them who literally read me my passwords, all of them included my passwords and sentences, and read me my Amazon shopping list. They've done that online and offline, but who then, when I explain what's happening, they're shocked and they look like they feel bad and they're afraid. And, after that, they look like they don't want to be involved in it. But she doesn't. She looks perfectly content with this. So she's not, I don't think she's being threatened. I don't think she's being threatened. I think she's being paid. And she enjoys this camaraderie, this group bonding at the expense of someone else. And I'm so sick of being the scapegoat for that. Anyway, I don't know. I don't know what to do anymore. I'm tired. I'm exhausted. And in the laundry room, the same thing happened. I went up to do laundry and someone came up. She asked me what dryer I had. I told her, or what dryers were free. I took some of my stuff out of one dryer. I said, okay, and I gave her the free dryers. And then she went to my dryer and started opening it. And this time I actually got there in time. I said no. And I was harsh with her. I said, no. I told you that this is taken. And the thing is, there are cameras, I think, in the laundry room. So they see me being harsh with someone that could look bad for me. They could say that my behavior was inappropriate, but this keeps happening and I'm under constant attack and I'm losing my patience and my temper. But, nothing they do initially is going to be shown. The only thing that's going to be shown is my response. And that's what they want. They want this negative response for that reason. Anyway, I'm done. I'm tired. I'm out.